For tropical cyclones to form and strengthen and really maintain their strength, they need an energy source. That source is warm sea surface temperatures. We're talking temperatures 80 degrees or warmer. If that's the case, there's a lot of evaporation, and that evaporation of moisture feeds into these systems. They get more powerful. Eventually, they produce rain, and you get convection, and they ramp up if the other conditions are favorable. When tropical systems move over cooler water, say in the North Atlantic, they lose that warmer water and they lose their energy. They weaken eventually. When they move over land, they get cut off from that energy quite immediately, and that's why you see a rapid decay once they move inland. I wanted to talk more about that. We're going to base this just as an example on this morning, the conditions around potential tropical cyclone 9. Now it's going to become a named system here. It'll take the name Helene, and it's going to, at least as of that 8 o'clock forecast, the Hurricane Center had it moving up towards the Big Bend here of Florida and coming inland potentially as a Cat 3 system. Winds Thursday afternoon expected to be around 115. We'll assume pretty close to that at landfall. The point is, once it's over land and it spends 24 hours over land, it goes from landfall Thursday evening to well inland Friday evening. And in that 24-hour period, the system is forecast to drop a lot of that strength, a lot of that wind speed, say going from 115 to maybe 55 miles per hour, something like that in that 24-hour period. So you get a large decline or decay in the strength of this system. Now, systems, depending on the strength, they decline or decay at different rates. So let's talk about this, okay? These are typical wind speed drops over 24 hours once these systems are inland. More powerful storms tend to have a little greater rate of decay. So we'll get into this. Major hurricanes, potentially what we could have with Helene at landfall, you have a 50 to 65% drop. And these figures are based on some research that was posted by the hurricanescience.org. So just wanted to share that credit. Take a look here. Hurricanes coming in approximately 50%, give or take a little bit. You see that kind of a drop over 24 hours. And then tropical storms drop more like 25 to 30%. Again, they don't have as far to go. So if you have a tropical storm, say with winds of 45 or 50 miles per hour, inland it may drop down to say 30 or 35 miles per hour. You get that kind of a drop, and that's pretty reasonable. You can still see those tropical storms holding on to some gusty winds. Now, couple quick notes on these systems as they decay. Even though they drop a lot of that maximum sustained wind, those damaging winds can still extend pretty far inland. Faster moving storms may not produce quite as much heavy tropical rain as a system moves by. If it moves by quicker, not as much rain, but the damaging winds extend farther inland. So think about that. And then again, you know, with these systems, no matter what it is, if you have a tropical system making landfall, you have the potential for isolated spin-up tornadoes. That is always a danger. So you always want to be very mindful of these systems when they make landfall. But that's how much they typically drop off 24 hours over land.